How did I get into audiobook narrations? This is a question I probably get more times than I even know how to count when I tell people what I do for work. So yes, my company is my work. I do not have any other jobs but my company when it comes to revenue and income. Now, this is a dream for many aspiring voiceover actors, audiobook narrators, to reach the point where their income is enough where they don't need to do Uber or work a part-time or even a full-time job, but they can do this: narrate audiobook, do voiceover. So how did I get to this point where my voiceover business, my audiobook business is enough so I don't need to go work? Well, whether you like it or not, it began with the voice of God. Now, you don't need to be a Christian or religious to listen to this video, but you can take notes and see how I reached the place where I'm at today. It began with someone in my church when we used to live on the east coast of Florida. She came up to me and gave me this very big book of a man's teachings whose name was John G. Lake. And I was blown away by these teachings and these sermons. So much so that I went online to try and find some audio of this man. Now, he lived a good amount of time ago before they had really recordings and things like that. But I found so little of people narrating his sermons that it came to me that, hey, I'll do it. I'll record some sermons and teachings and put it on YouTube and let people benefit. It never was to start a channel, to get followers, to build a business. It never was that. My intentions, I believe, were pure. I wanted people to listen to this guy's teachings. And so I had some equipment. I had, inexpensive microphone. I had a computer and software. I knew how to do music. So hey, let's just do some voiceover and put on YouTube. After some videos later, it got a lot of attention, a lot of views, and people were being benefited by these audio sermons that I was putting out. And one night in my bed, I remember this night, I was in our little apartment. My wife and I had been married maybe a few months, and I felt and heard the voice of God tell me that I can do this as a business. Now, at this point in my life, I was doing sales. I was an account manager for a national security system company, and I was making pretty good money. But right then, in my bed, I get this download. That's all I can explain it as, a download. In about 30 minutes of these thoughts and ideas come into my mind how I can narrate Christian authors' books and put them in the audiobook form and be paid for it. Now, my heart has been to serve God. As a devout Christian who loves Jesus and wants people to know him, if I'm going to devote hours and days and weeks and months to some job, I want it to be for his glory. Now, yes, I can bring him glory by working at a security system company. But hey, if I can devote my talents to something that promotes godly teachings like this man, John G. Lake, well, hey, I would like to do that instead. So this began just a journey of learning the industry. I knew very little, had no training, didn't know much, did research, found out different things, and tried to do it, and didn't really do anything. My first business was called Christian Audiobook Studios, and I didn't have much time. I put a website up, but I ended up getting my first clients, which I pretty much agreed to do his book for free for the most part, or at least that's what I thought. And I thought I would get a specific amount of royalties and whatever, but I was just happy to do a book. And that was my first client, my first book, and I was excited. But I began to feel God's pull to leave my job, to leave this comfortable position where I was making a good amount of money. For being 23, I was making enough money to pay bills and different things like that. But I felt like the Lord said it's time. Now, mind you, I had one client who I was not expecting any money from, and I had a wife who was, I believe, going to work. She was either a nurse at the time or she was working. But I told my manager, I gave him plenty amount of notice and said that I'm going to start a business. I feel like it's God's will. And so I launched out, I left. And what I did in the meantime was Uber. So I did Uber for a couple of days out of the week and just began to audition. Audition. Now I jumped right into voices.com. And this was not God's plan. Remember, he gave me a download to do Christian books. But for whatever reason, I went into commercials and tried to do that. I got nothing. Nothing. I was getting discouraged. I was like, okay, Lord, I feel like you're calling me into this, but I'm getting nothing. And then I stumbled upon ACX. Signed up. I feel like the Lord also said before I did that I would get my first offer, my first job by the end of the month. Maybe it was March 29th, 30th, I don't know. But at the end of the month, I auditioned on ACX, got my first book. And man, was I excited. I was so thrilled. I was going to do a book, a Christian book at that. And it was wonderful. And the Lord encouraged me with that. Because either I'm hearing voices in my head, no pun intended, or I'm actually hearing his voice. Because up to this point, it's all this voice that I'm hearing. Even to the point I would get a book by the end of the month, or I get a project. And I did. And just timing of leaving my business. Now, I would not recommend anyone to just leave their business unless you felt God calling you to do so. There is work in this industry, and it's growing. The audiobook industry is growing. There is work. And so for me, I was doing Uber. I was thankful because my wife was a nurse. And so we were able to pay our bills off of her income. And then I did Uber to get extra so we could, pay for extra expenses. But eventually it began to transition, me leaving Uber to doing full-time these audiobooks. And it was really awesome because I simply followed his voice with this whole business. Even the name God Sounds was his idea. We had a list of possible names. God Sounds was not the top name. And when we prayed and asked the Lord, I felt like he said God Sounds. And we said, okay. And so now it's stuck. So for me, in my journey with voiceover and audiobooks, it was progressive. I'm glad I had a wife that was making a good amount of money so I could pursue this business. Now she's not a nurse. We make enough where she can be with our children and I can work. But it was a progression. It was submitting this to him, knowing that, hey, this is not my idea, Lord, this is yours. And following that leading of his Holy Spirit, even auditioning. I'll say this, there was a book on ACX, it was split royalty, which means that you only make money when the book sells. They don't pay you anything, you get money when the book sells, you split the royalties. And I was hesitant of auditioning because I didn't want a split royalty book. And it was a long book. It was like 9-10 hours, I think. But I felt like the Lord said to audition for that book. And I did, and I got it. And after I narrated the book and finished it, I connected with the publisher and told them, hey, I want to do a special discount for you guys to do books. Little did I know that would be my main client for years. That main client would bring me through. The Lord used it, and it was a Christian publisher that I would work with for years and years to come. And so sharing this story with you, again, you don't need to be a Christian. I mean, there's plenty of people that are successful in this career that are not Christians. But for me in my story, it's been his voice. It's been a place of faith. Even when I was getting hammered by really bad reviews, I had a weird style at one point because a client wanted me to be more passionate. Well, that rubbed off into all my other books, and I got ripped apart with reviews. People did not like it. You're the worst narrator I've ever heard. This is horrible. The book's great, but this guy sucks. These are real reviews, and if you can imagine getting those reviews, it hurts. It's hard. I went through a season where I felt like knives, and I read the reviews, just boom, a knife after knife, and I got offended, I got mad. I wanted to find these people and give them a piece of my mind, but the Lord used it to humble me, because he showed me this is not my plan, this is his plan. This is his will. So even though getting that, like, this guy should not be a narrator, I knew the Lord called me into this work. So I pressed on and went forward. And now the books are a lot better. The reviews are a lot better. And I've narrated over 115 books, I believe, over 110 books. And so, yeah, this has been the Lord. I can't deny it. And it's not been easy. It's tested our faith. It's tested us. And the challenges and the learning. And there's just a lot. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this work. And I have to say as well that in this business, I've learned a lot. That it's more than just narrating a book. You have to know about business. You have to know about other income streams. All my income does not come from doing books for clients. Some of it comes for narrating books and then selling those books on my own. Not my own books, but books I get the rights to. And there's a lot of different ways to receive revenue and profit in this business, this industry. And so I think some of you might know that I am beginning to do coaching. I'm beginning to do one-on-one, over the phone coaching with people who are either aspiring narrators or you're already in the industry and you just want to take it to another level. Not only do I narrate books, but I actually cast narrators. So I will actually hire narrators for different books that my company has purchased the rights to. Now this puts me in a very unique position as an audiobook narrator and also a casting agent, that I'm on both sides of the coin on ACX. I know the narrating side and also know the hiring publisher side. And so for me, being in this industry for 5 years now, and this being my sole income, right? This business, God Sounds, I want to begin to do coaching. I want to begin to invest into others that would like to receive from me what I've gathered over the years, what I've learned. And yes, it will cost money because this will be part of my work. Now, if you're interested, you can look in the description below and you can reach out. There should be an email or a link to the website. And again, there's no pressure. You can watch these videos and learn. But if you want a one-on-one consultation where I can go through your audiobook narration, you can ask me questions about how I receive revenue, what are other income streams in this industry, or if you just want to just simply ask questions on more of how I am where I am today, I would love to do that. So again, in the description below, you can learn more. You can reach out to the email or to the website, and then we'll go from there. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it blesses you. And yeah, to God be the glory.